were always side by side, but trapped in the friend.
Live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. That is right. It is Jeff. Let me check out this audio. I am back live. Oh, it sounds like it's pretty good. My little headset here. Welcome. Hey. I think I've done this once or twice before. It's been a while. You know, let me just go ahead and cut out this music and everything. Hello, Twitch world, YouTube, Facebook. It is I. Yes, my demise has been vastly exaggerated. I am back. I'm back. New show, new format, new things. You know, one of the things that I love, for you guys that don't know, I am a computer programmer at heart and a gamer. And so I've kind of brought together all of my passions and going to be doing shows throughout the day and into the evening. Yes, and we will be bringing on guests. I will tell you. I will still late night show. We will still be bringing on some of the great guests that I used to do, the paranormal. And it all has something to do with coding, guys. It all has something to do with computer programming. I like the late night shows because it kept me up many a nights as I was writing code. So, I am back. I just want to say, health is fine. Life is good. We did have a little tragedy last week. We lost our beloved buddy, our dog. For those that know the show, know that I loved my dog. So we lost him. I don't mean to laugh. It's not something. But, you know, it's life goes on. But other than that, you know, health is good. I listened to a couple of my psychic friends on some of my past shows, and they told me what I needed to do, and I did it, and I am here. I'm alive. So as I can say, as you guys can see from the banner, Write Code Live is a new venture that we're going to be doing. And during the day, during the waking hours, during the business hours, I will be doing and teaching and taking calls and all sorts of things and giving you guys real life experience and examples of computer programming, things that I do every day for multi-billion dollar, and I say, yes, I said billion dollar corporations. I am fortunate enough to work from my home. I don't have to commute. I used to do that, and and everything. So that is where we're at with stuff these days. Just keeping you guys abreast of what's going on. And Write Code Live is we're gonna start it from the very beginning. We're gonna show you how to install your servers. We're gonna do a WordPress theme. So we'll write a WordPress theme from the very beginning, from scratch. So theoretically, you could take, starting tomorrow as we install the servers, all the way through, whenever during the day, when you guys watch these shows, you guys will be able to follow along, write your own code. I'll teach you how to do it. I'll teach you how to do it. But after hours, it's the evening. I got to get used to this. I've got a couple of feeds going on here for my old Midnight Ocean listeners. I'm in the chat room there at Midnight Ocean, so you can chat with me live there. And but the new site is Write Code Live. That's writecodelive.com. It's not up yet. Don't go out there. Like I said, we're going to set up servers tomorrow, teach you how to install Linux servers and everything you need, a LAMP stack for writing. We're going to do it in PHP, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all of those great languages, and you're going to see it grow. And I'm going to use that as an opportunity to teach you. But tonight, it's after hours and it's game night. And talking about game nights, well, one of the things, talking about transitions, and we'll just go ahead and get over there. One of the things I used to love doing besides writing code was flying. Love to fly. Used to fly a lot. And, I would leave work and when I was in Chicago and head on over to the airport and not to hijack an airplane, but actually jump in an airplane and go flying. The $100 hamburger, fly up to Milwaukee and different places, and just get in the airplane at night and fly. Well, those days are over with. Health, because of health reasons and stuff. Who knows? I might get my wings back. I got to pass my medical and stuff, but who knows? But until then, what we're going to do is I'm going to, now, bear with me, it's been 15 years since I've flown last, but I am going to, tonight's game is we're going to be playing X-Plane 11. I'm really digging this game. We're going to fly the old Skyhawk 172 SP. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to fly, let's see what we want to do here. Let's fly out of, we can say, Crystal River, Florida. So we'll select that, maybe. Crystal River, Florida. And I'm going to keep it during the day today. I'm going to keep it during the day. That way the visibility. So it's pretty cool at night, though. I'm really digging the night flying and stuff. But we're gonna keep it during the day, and that way we can do that. So auto mod, go to settings, automatically hold risky message and mod review. Yeah, whatever. New followers only chat. Yeah, so we'll get X-Plane going. We'll get Twitch going and stuff and chat. Right now, if you want to chat with me, Morning News Radio. Go out to YouTube. Go to Morning News, or not Morning, the Midnight Ocean. The Midnight Ocean. Go out to the Midnight Ocean in YouTube, and you can chat with me there. That's the best way to do that. Is go out, like I said, go out to YouTube and go to the Midnight Ocean. And you can chat. Now we're gonna have the links up later on in the site and stuff. Like I said, we're gonna start from scratch. Hang in there. We're gonna start tomorrow afternoon, and you spend days with me, and we'll teach, and I'll answer your questions. We have a pretty cool little phone system that you will be able to call in and ask questions. It's like a radio show and stuff like that. And I'll do them live on the air, live in the feed. I'll show you, do what I can do to show you. But tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to fly the Cessna Skyhawk. You know, it's pretty much every airplane, every pilot who starts out all flies, Cessna. Not as nice as this one. This one's got a pretty nice little radio stack. It's got the Garmin in it and everything. We'll get it cleared over there. So weather's clear. We'll get this loaded up and stuff. And why this is loading, I just want to say, wow. I do appreciate the well wishes from everybody. It's been 4 or 5 months since I've been out. We did a couple other shows here and there and trying to get other format, and it just didn't feel right, guys. Just didn't feel right. I mean, so I'm bringing my two passions together. We will have some paranormal guests on the show, and we'll talk to them throughout the evening, and as we're sitting here playing games and stuff at night. Night is game night, and I'll take your calls and we'll just talk. I love to talk to people and everything. So this is loading up. This is where I need the elevator music. I need my full radio station set up so I can do. Yeah, this is a new headset. Kind of digging it. It's not as nice as my Sony's. It's not as nice as my professional systems. Oh, hey, in the air. So there we go. We're in our Cessna. We are in the Cessna, so we'll kind of zoom in here. So we are sitting, for those, we are actually sitting on the runway, blocking traffic. Ain't no one gonna get by us. And you know what? I just realized something. We probably need to plug in my joysticks as I get started. So hang in there. Let me try this. Wait, this is cool. So let me try this. I'll be back. I'm gonna play a little bit of music, and I promise you we will be back. I gotta plug in some my joysticks. Nothing like being a little bit underprepared for your first show. Nah, this is all. See, the whole purpose of this is to just be, how do I say, just kind of hang loose, man. It's no big deal. The old days when you did the radio shows, you used to all freak out and stuff. No, it ain't like that here. So we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna get my joysticks plugged in, and then we'll get going. So hang in there. We'll be back in a few minutes, and just sit back, enjoy the music. It's no rush. You're awesome. Thanks, man. Sentinel! Man, it's been a while. Missed you, brother. I've missed you. But, so yeah. So I think what we're going to do today is we're going to fly from, and Sentinel, thanks. He's my, in the old show, it seems that it's amazing. It's amazing that a good friend. See, that's why that's why I missed you guys. I did. I really do. I missed you guys. And I'm glad that we're back. And, like I said, we're going to do things that we love to do and everything. But, man, everything is awesome. Health is good. Had some medical scares and everything. And, but for those that don't know, I actually had a psychic on the show who speaks with dead people. And he gave me a message from my grandmother who passed away when you do late night paranormal shows. And I heeded his message. Well, I had a little help. He gave me 2 messages, and one of them came true, and then the other one. So then the other message, I listened to him, and sure enough, I had some pretty significant health issues that I had to deal with. But I'm back, and you guys all know that. Enough of that. So what we're going to do today or this evening is we're going to fly out of my home base here in Crystal River, and we'll bring up my chart program that I'm using today. What the heck? It's telling me it's already running. I gotta shut it down. What the heck? It's not running. I'm looking right at it. Or is it over here? Maybe it's... Let me see here. As I bring up... Oh, there it is. Yeah, it is running. Wow. Can't fool that, can you? So what we're going to do is we're going to fly out of Crystal River, Florida. And it's not rivers, it's river. I love how people try to tell me. I live in Nature Coast, Florida, not Nature's Coast. I love how people try to tell me where I live. So we're going to fly out of Crystal River. And I think we're going to take a short jaunt up to, hey, let's... want to buzz Daytona International Speedway? That could be kind of fun. That's a short little flight we can take, and yeah, that would actually be somewhat fun. Let me reach over here and pull out my airport designators, so I type these in right. So what we're gonna do is we're going to start out, we're going to go to Crystal River, Florida. So I got to type that in. Actually, you know what? I can probably just do this. Forget the map. Let's just get in the plane and go. How about that? There's a suggestion for you. I'm going to get rid of that joystick so we can do it. So, proper procedures. First thing is, checklists are always important. Let's set our trim to takeoff. That's the first thing you do. Verify that our fuel is set to in the middle instead of right or left. That's the first thing. Parking brake is engaged. Disengaged would look like that. Engaged halfway would look like that. So it is engaged. So we're good there. We're going to go rich. We're going to give it full rich. Throttle in. Normally on an airplane you would kind of goose this as you're doing it on the Cessna, but on this one here, because it's not really it's pretty close though. X-Plane's a pretty good little game. Alright, we're going to turn avionics on. Bam. Bam. Now what I typically like to do is I like to start the airplane before I turn my avionics on. I've damaged one in another airplane years ago where I had a jolt, but the instructions actually say go ahead and turn it on. So we'll just follow the instructions. Go ahead and turn the prop, stick our heads out the window, look around, make sure there's no one standing behind us, and if they are, they're standing right in the middle of the runway here. And we're going to crank this bad boy up. Engine's running. Alright, So we're going to turn on our strobes, our beacon, obviously our landing lights. You still turn on your landing lights when you do it, and then of course our navigation lights. So we'll turn those on as well. Alright, so here's our GPS. We actually have two GPSs in this. We have a 430 and a 530. Now, the way that this works, so I'll just bring this out so you can see it. So this is where we're at now. We're going to file flight plan. This is actually me flying to Jacksonville last night. Jacksonville, Florida. Let's have a little bit of fun. We're going to change this. Let's see here. You know, someone told me that I can do this. See, I can't. Oh, there it is. Haha. So there is my flight plan. They were right. So KDAB would be, press the cursor, and we're going to scroll down here. And this will take us actually to, this will take us to Daytona, right? And if we go in our flight plan, so here's our vectors. So these are all the ways, KDAB, so these are all of the paths that we're going to go to Daytona International. Now, the other thing is once we get there, we can actually select an approach. And the way that would work is our runway. So we're going to come in on 7 left. We're going to come in on a GPS heading, so but you guys will see that here. So here's our waypoints. We'll take it back, kind of zoom out. So there's our flight, and we'll get it there. So you know, let's get this baby in here. So we'll turn on our radios here. I don't know what the frequency here for. Obviously, it's not right. This should set it automatically.
Crystal River weather.
There it is.
Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 22, dew point 17. Altimeter 3007.
3007, that's important to know. So we're going to go here to our altimeter. We're at 3007, we're pretty close.
Crystal River weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 22, dew point 17.
Alright.
Altimeter 3007.
Let's kick this thing in the butt, man. Alright. So, let me give it a little, let me goose
Crystal
it here.
River weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky clear.
That's called your ATIS, by the way, for those that don't know.
2.17.
That's every airport does that. When we get closer to Daytona, we'll pick that up as well. So let me kind of back out here a little bit. This is gonna be an easy flight, nothing major. Take our brakes off so we can turn, and we're gonna what they call back taxi. So normally, what you would call out is you say Crystal River, Cessna N172 SP, back taxi on runway 7. So you'd call that out, and that basically just lets other people lets other people know that that you're back taxiing, that you're driving down the runway instead of flying down the runway. Don't want to get too fast here. This thing called pilotage too. You want to kind of keep it on the center line. Now it doesn't look like it. You got to remember, I'm sitting to the right of the line of the center of the airplane, the aircraft. All right. So normally this is what we would call a sanitized or a stale cockpit or whatever, sanitized cockpit. So we really don't talk while we're doing stuff like this while we're maneuvering, but I can talk to you guys. So there we go. We're just gonna back down. We don't want to get too fast here. Don't want to get too crazy. So back taxiing down the runway. I guess we could have got off the taxiway. The heck, they put us here, so maybe they know something that I don't. brake on one and pivot around the other one. So I'm going to go all the way over here. Watch this. We're going to flip this airplane around. Try not to flip it, right? Going pretty good. And here we go. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Back on center. So now we're going to go through our checklist. Normally what we would do at this point is that you would go ahead and turn on your takeoff lights, your landing lights. Fuel pumps down, boom, boom, boom. Airspeed is good, everything's looking good. Pressures, everything's pretty much in the green. We're going to give ourselves 10-degree flaps. Don't need any more than that. It's just me and the airplane. Some would say I probably need more than that. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to depart out of Crystal River. We're going to go west. We're going to go over the Gulf. We're going to get up to 1,000 feet. You don't want to do anything in an airplane. 1,000 feet is the marker. Usually at 1,000 feet, if you have a problem, you can turn the plane around pretty quickly. And so this way you can we can do that. So I'm going to back the sound down a little bit. I think it's, there we go. So we don't want to overpower you guys. Back it down even more so. This X-plane is pretty cool because it has 3D sound in it. So if I tilt my head and everything, it actually will move the sound. All right, volts are good. It just means, you know, I've been sitting. That's why you really don't want to sit around on the tarmac a whole lot without your engine running and stuff. So that's good. You'll see that go away as I goose the engine. Typically, normally on an airplane, you want to keep the RPMs on the Cessna. I should say the Cessna is about anywhere between 1,000 to 1,500 as you're sitting still. That's typically the recommended. I have to pull the card on this. It's been a while since I actually flown a real Cessna 172. That was my training plane and stuff. And then of course we got into the jets and stuff a little bit later. All right, so here we go. We're at 1,000. Everything's looking good. We're coming alive. We're gonna airspeed. We're gonna V1. We're about 60 on this one. Takeoff speed's about 60. You can kind of wait till 80. The plane's gonna fly itself. Actually, flying an airplane, believe it or not, is easier than flying or driving a car. So here we go. Get our airspeed. Instruments come up. Everything's fine. We're in the green, and we're gonna let her go. And of course, it's kind of hard because I'm having to do a twisty motion with my joystick to keep it there. You'll see it's about 60. We'll take off. We're gonna fly runway heading, which means we're gonna try to stay right down the runway. And then airspeed, we're coming alive, and there you go. We're off the ground. Because I turned the sound down. We don't want to be climbing that fast. That's a little bit too much. So what you want to do is put your cowling, and when I say cowling, that's that black line on the horizon. That's about 500 feet per minute, as you can see right there at the center. You'll see it. But if you put the cowling or the black line of your dashboard on the horizon, that typically is 500 feet. So we're gonna get up. Like I said, you don't want to do anything until you hit 1,000 feet. That is your distance, or your height above ground. You want to be at about 1,000 before you do anything, because in a real airplane, because if you have an emergency at 1,000 feet, you can glide back to the runway. Talk about gliding back to the runway. We had an airplane today just right down the street who lost its propeller on takeoff, and luckily the propeller flew off the airplane, landed in the river. And luckily they were able to glide that airplane. So this is it. We want to get up to about 1,000 feet before we do anything. No rush, A lot of people would expedite a turn right here. I'm in no rush. it's the pleasure of flying. So we're there. So now what I want to do is I'm going to come down here. Now we do have autopilot, so we're going to turn our autopilot on, and at 1,000 feet we're going to hold our heading or our altitude. And what that will do is that will trim the plane out for us and do everything else. See the trim wheel running? So that will actually trim our plane out. So the next thing is typically what I'll do is kind of look around. Obviously we're scanning the instruments, airspeed is coming up because we're leveling out and everything. And so we're, you know, just kind of take a look, kind of enjoy the scenery. I can tell you this X-plane is awesome. These views, this is the Gulf. For those that don't know, this is the Gulf of Mexico, coming out of Crystal River, which is pretty cool. All right, so we're at 1,000 feet. Now, I want to go up to, you know, there's no reason to, you have all this technology. Oh, going the wrong way. So we're going to, a good rate of climb is 5,000 feet per minute, or 500 feet per minute. That's a good rate, and you'll see it. Here's our vertical speed indicator. This is telling us that we're at 500 to 1,000. That's a good rate, so we're going up to 1,000. Now, we'll go ahead and turn to our navigation, and this will actually turn us into our course. Oh, before we go navigation, we have to put on GPS. So there you go. V-lock is vertical lock. Use that when you're landing and everything. So you'll see us, we'll swing around here and everything. So there you go. We're doing that. Cool stuff. Cool beans. Good stuff, good stuff. Why is this? I have no idea. If you guys are watching us on Twitch or whatever, you go over to the Midnight Ocean on YouTube, and I'll have the chat set up there a little bit later. Let me adjust this so we can kind of see. So now you can see us, and you can actually see our line. We're 30 minutes away from the point. We're going to bugs. So we'll turn this down. All right. Sentinel, man, how are you doing? I miss you guys. I see you there in the chat room. You know, flying an airplane, believe it or not, is, well, the old days. In the old days, it was, there was a lot of pilotage. A lot of things you had to do. And stuff. Now with the GPS and all the radios and stuff. Oh, look at there. See, that's why we have checklists, guys. I probably just, tore off my flap, see? Shoo. I didn't get above. No, I was wondering why my airspeed was pretty low. It's because I had my flaps down. See? That's why we have checklists. I don't have a checklist with me. I need to have one. I need to get... I'll go through my books. I still have all my old books, all my old flight books, and I'll pull those checklists out. See, that's why you have them. You can actually... We can turn off the landing lights. And we're just gonna continue on here. So we're at our first designation, or our first point. We're 25 minutes away from bugs. This is pretty detailed. Cocan, and then things will happen pretty quick. You can actually follow it here. So this is our cumulative. So this is total miles. So we're 120 miles away. We're at 40, and then at 70, and we'll be at 84, 90, and then this is KDAB. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to approach. We'll come into there, but somewhere in here we will execute our IFR, our approach, and you'll see how that works here in a little bit. And I don't have the what they call the plate. Let me see if I have that. I might have the plate for. This is called it's called the approach plate. I might have it for Daytona. Let me see here. 7 right. I have the approach plate for 7 right. That'll work. Alright. So let me show you something here. Window capture. Okay. It is the PDF. All right. So as we're flying here, checking our instruments, we're always scanning our instruments. Our horizons, looking out for airplanes, all that stuff. So here's the approach plate. Let me kind of give you the rundown. I'm going to give you the high level for this bad boy. So this is how you would approach the airport. We're going to land on 2 right, GPS on, or 2 left. Yep, 2 left, or 7 left. Here, and the way that we would do that is, alright, we'd come in, now see the COCAD here, and then see COCAD? So at COCAD, this is basically our hold pattern. So if we were flying IFR, we would go into this pattern and hold until we were vectored, until we were told that we can do our final approach by the control power. Now this is obviously controlled airspace and stuff, and we'll try to follow the rules as much, even though we're what we're called visual flight rules, because it's clear and everything you can see. Look at that detail. It's just incredible. And everything. Those streaks up there are jets. they're spraying the they're spraying us all and stuff. But going back to the thing, so at COCAD, that's our hold position. So what they're telling us, if you read this plate, we have to be at 1,700 feet. So right now, we're going to climb up, and this is actually pretty good. We're up there pretty. We'll stop right here. We'll just hold our altitude. All right. So we're going to hold our altitude at 4,500 feet. This is good. I'm one of these guys that, hey, look, put height. With enough height in an airplane, you get these scud runners that are running at 1,500 to 2,000 feet. They have problems. Yeah, I want to be able to glide somewhere, right? And there's plenty of airports around me, plenty of places. I got plenty of time. Airplanes don't fall out of the sky. They'll glide, unless of course they have huge problems. So I have 4,500 feet. But before I hit COCAD, I have to be at 1,700 feet. So we'll have to do a calculation. So we're at 45 now, right? And I know that I can set at 500 feet a minute, so I can drop down. So at 45, I got to be at 1,700. So let me pull out my trusty math, because I have a public school education. So basically, we have to drop 2,800 feet. And we divide that by 500 feet a minute. There's other ways of doing it, but you want to be there. There's a rule where you drop and then you multiply by 3 and stuff, but we'll just make this simple. So 5 minutes, you never want to arrive late. You want to arrive early. So we want to be at 1700 feet. So we're at 5.6 minutes, 5.5 minutes. So 5.5 minutes before, and we'll probably do it at 6 minutes before we hit Kokat. We'll set our vertical speed, and we will drop down and get there at 1700. Then the next one is Folig, which is the next one. Now, it's not on here, Kokek, so they got a different flight plan. But when we execute our arrival, it will switch. You'll see it. So Kokat will be at 1700, and Folig we got to be at 1600. Zoprii, and then runway 7 left, and then land. Now, the way that this works is this little line here. This is your missed approach. Now, if you miss, so for whatever reason, when we're coming in, if we can't land and we miss the runway, this is 7 left here, big long runway. I don't know how you're going to miss that. If we can't land, then we are to proceed straight out until we hit 1600 feet, and then we will fly to the miss. And basically, it's a hold pattern. You'll see all that. So we'll have to basically, it's kind of like a penalty box. Think of it like that. Here's the hold pattern out here. So we'll fly straight out, go 1600 feet. That's what this means. And we're going to fly out to GILNE, Golf Indigo Lima Navy Echo. Yeah. And then we'll hold out there until in our penalty box. That's basically what it is. Now, ATIS, which is the weather there for Daytona, is 132875. So we'll go ahead and get that queued in to our radio. Where this is the radio here now. COM 1. Now we could do this in COM 2 if we wanted to. Typically on flights such as this, I really don't mess, but you could program this in here to this bottom radio and listen there on COM 2 and stuff. But there's no reason to do that. So what we'll do is we're at 125. We need to be at 13287. So let me bring this radio in front here, and we'll just take that off, and we will set this 1, 2. Got to use my mouse to do this. This is the only. I think I'm going to build me a thing, and then the inner one does the big one. So we got to go 7.5. All right, so there we go, and then we can. We're probably still listening. Crystal River, right? Now, what we can do here, and I usually will turn that on, and when I start hearing, that means I'm getting close, and you'll hear them in my ear. Or you'll hear them in the air. So we'll go back. We're about 13 minutes away. Now, I drive to Daytona pretty much once a month to visit family. And I will tell you, it is a 2.5 hour drive. 2.5 hours. Oh, let me get you. Oh, you guys didn't see that. Forgot to hit the transition. So basically what we did is we put in 132. So this is, if I change here when this is underlined here and change that changes the bottom radio, and then to switch them out, you hit that. Right? So if I want to listen to Crystal River and it's coming, see it's telling me and stuff. I do apologize about that. And then we'll close this out, and I'm going to put this approach plate up where I can see it, just in case, but it is out of the way from us. I wonder if our other... Bear with me, guys. I'm going to go over to Write Code Live and see if we're streaming over there. Stream is offline. What do you mean? Come on now. Why do you have to be so difficult? It's initializing. Preview stream is starting. Only you see the preview stream. What? I want to see the real stream. Oh, I gotta hit start stream. I gotta get used to all this YouTube. This is why we're doing this tonight. Tomorrow, when you guys join us, you are live. I'm live. All right. So that's cool. Digging that. I'm gonna switch back over here in the morning to the Midnight Ocean website, because that's where everybody knows me. Till we do that. But yeah. There we go. Samaritan Sentinel. Cool. Cool beans. Oh, how does this work? I'm hitting buttons over here in the Twitch. Let's kind of scan. Watching my ETA, my countdown here. I have no idea what this thing is. Hello. Hello. Oh, that's cool. Cool beans. So here you go. So here you go. Here's the water cooler section as we're still flying in the background. You guys can hear that. I'll just put this thing on mute. Man, what do you guys think about freaking Comey? This is the water cooler section. This is you know, this is where we talk about water cooler stuff as we go. Oh, Comey. Wow. What a mess. What a mess. I don't know. The whole politics thing has got me burned out, to be honest with you. I'm not a big, I don't know. I'm wore out. They got me all wore out. I wonder what oh, that's cool. You can still see the adjustment pipe. But that's why I'm playing video games and writing code and teaching people how to write code. So tomorrow, as I was going to tell you guys, tomorrow, join us here at Write Code Live. Our website is actually writecodelive.com. We're going to start fresh. We don't have a web server up. We don't have anything. So tomorrow, I am going to show you how to set up a web server. And then from there, we're going to install WordPress. We're going to do a WordPress site. And I'm going to teach you from the very beginning how to create a WordPress site, the tools you need, everything. So by the time we're done, you can create your own template. You know, I was out there. One of the things, guys, you know, you create these templates for WordPress, you know, that allow you to do that. You don't have to, you know, write your own. You can put your own security in it. You can do things. And we're going to start from start to finish, you know, tomorrow. Tonight is, you know, the name of the show is Write Code Live during the day. And at night, we are doing the, I will tell you this, tonight is Write Code Gaming. So I'm taking my passions and mixing them together. And of course, you know, we have the water cooler section, which is where we will talk about things, you know, just like work. Have great discussions with each other and everything. So, well, let's kind of check our status here where we're at on our flight here. So right now we're about 6 minutes out from our first point, and I'll get this up here from Bugs, and then Bugs is going to vector us right in. Probably what I'm going to do is let me see here. Now, our approach plate that we had earlier, let me bring that back up. So our approach plate basically has us we got to be at 1,700 feet at COCAD. So we calculated out about 5.5 minutes prior to. We need to start our descent to that. So when we hit Bugs, and there's nothing wrong with being early. And actually, what we could do, because we're up pretty high now, we're at 4,500 feet on this Cessna, so that's pretty good. But personally, guys, height, altitude is your friend in an airplane. You want to be high. You don't want to be low. If you have engine problems and stuff, basically, if I had engine problems right now, I could land this plane anywhere I want to. I got plenty of roads down there. I probably have airports near me. That's my approach vector. I got to remember how this. It's been so long since I've used one of these Garmin's that there is a way. Let me bring this guy up. I believe there's a way. That's actually my flight last night to. There we go, nearest airport. So if I had an issue and I needed to fly the airplane, it's 2.8 miles away from me, at bearing 303. So I would turn the airplane at 303, and it would take me right to the airport. And at my height, I could actually probably hit this airport here. That's 4 miles away. So the height is your friend in an airplane. You want to be as high as you possibly can be. It's always your friend when flying. A wise man, a good pilot friend of mine once told me, airline pilot, said, you always want to be in the ground wishing you were in the air, but you never want to be in the air wishing you were on the ground. How true is that? I'll bring our flight plan over here so you guys can see it. And this is what we're going to execute when it is time for us to do our landing. This is called the approach plate. Now we are what they call VFR. This is a GPS approach plate. And, I still, even though I am flying VFR, I still like to fly close to the rules as possible, right? Just good pilotage. You never know, especially in Florida. You could have a really bad storm. Look at that. Look at that detail. Is that not incredible? How that works. I mean, this is, you can, I can tell you, flying a simulator, I mean, it's still, the difference between a simulator and this, obviously, is you don't get the motion feedback. But it's pretty close. I mean, these instruments are exactly what I would expect. Oh, let me get back over here. I'm talking and not even paying attention to my so we're 2 minutes out. You guys can't see that because my big old freaking melon's in the way. So we're 2 minutes out, and you'll see the airplane actually make its turn. This is airspace. This is actually a bad flight plan because this puts me into this airport's airspace. But hey, oh well. I will tell you some things haven't changed. I got my Tim Hortons coffee, best dang coffee. If you're within 500 miles of Tim Hortons, I highly recommend that you take a detour, get out there, tell them that Jeff Norton sent you, get a Danish, and everything. So get out there and get a Danish. So we're 1.5 minutes for making our turn. After we make our turn, we're at Cochrane, so we'll be 32 miles out from there. We know we want to make our descent at about 500 feet, or about 5 minutes prior to hitting Cochran. We want to be at 1,700 feet when we hit there. You're going to see the airplane here make a turn here in a second. 53 seconds here. We'll just bring this up so you guys, the anticipation is killing you, I know. 45, 40, 41. Yeah, I'm going to ask Miss Sandy if I can get me, I can already tell you the answer. But eventually I'll get me a real yoke and rudders and everything instead of this joystick. It's hard to fly. You like that feel. I mean, that feel, it's not that bad. So here we go. 10, 9. This is telling me it's going to track. This is what this is actually telling you. It's tracking. 4, 3, 2, 1. And now, and it's going to make the turn. So we're 14 minutes away from Cochran. So when this gets down to 5 minutes, 6 minutes, we'll start our descent. Whoa, I'm blurry. What happened there? Autofocus. So there we go. So we're 14 minutes away from our next point, which actually is going to put us into Cochran. So the other thing that we can do is that we can go ahead and execute, because this is the last before we hit our, and we'll pull up, let me pull this chart back up here so you can see it. So before we hit our runway, the COCAD is actually our hold. So I can go ahead, if I wanted to, I can go ahead and tell it to activate approach. So first I want to select approach, and we're going to roll down here, and I'm going to do left, 7 left, 7 right is the smaller one, and I will say enter, and we're going to come in through Oleg. I got to look at my chart here. Okay, the Folig. So they're not COCAD. So we're going to come in through COCAD. Should have known that. And there we go. And we're going to load. And that's going to load that in. Now if we go to our flight plan, you can actually see how we're going to come in to the system. This is our approach 7 left, our hold pattern. We're going to turn 70. We're going to hold in there, and then we're going to come in through Folig down here. And you can actually see that. And in our miss approach is this is how we're going to miss. This is our site. So this tells us how we're going to come in through the plate, and we'll just fly this down, and we're going to go out to Geelan, and then we'll hold out there until we. That's it, guys. Believe it or not, I mean, this is a small aircraft, obviously, right? And it's got everything that you need. It's a nice little airplane. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get down to about 7 minutes before, and then we'll go ahead and shoot our approach, or go ahead and get into our, not shoot our approach, but we're going to go ahead and get into our configuration. I mean, see, anybody can fly an airplane. It's not that hard. You know, it's amazing. I take friends out. You know, yeah, we can turn on our transponder and squawk 2200. So ATC knows that we're there, air traffic control. Typically, this is your transponder. When you're talking to air traffic control, they'll tell you what to squawk. There is an add-on to this X-plane that allows us to put in air traffic control. I'm still playing with it. I don't know. I don't know if I like it or not. Just kind of going around looking here. All right. So for fuel efficiency, I'll show you a couple things here with the airplane. This is your mixture. Now, if you wanted to save a little bit of fuel, you can lean it out. Don't want to lean out too much, but you'll see your cylinder head go up. See how that goes way up? That's because your fuel actually acts as a coolant. And depending on your altitude and where you're flying and the humidity and all that stuff is where you do this. So there's nothing wrong with flying it rich like this. So that's real rich, a lot of fuel, but it helps keep the cool. But you can see where you pulled that back and it um, actually made our cylinder heads goes up. Now the problem with that obviously is you'll get what they call detonation. If your cylinders inside your engine is too hot, it will actually detonate and you'll hear that knocking sound. And so you don't want to get your cylinder heads too hot. That's not a good thing. But knocking is called detonation within. And what happens, like I said, is the fuel will actually explode or ignite before it goes into the cylinder, and you'll hear it knocking really bad. And maybe we'll do a flight, maybe where I'll jack the airplane up, and we'll do that. So, all right. So we're about 8 minutes out. Like I said, about 7 minutes, we'll go ahead and start our descent, so that we're at our 1,700 feet before we get into Coker, and you can see it coming in right now. All right. That's one of those things, you gotta, how do I say, you get nervous stuff. You know what? I think we're going a little bit faster than normal. So let me go ahead and descend. So we're going to descend 500 feet a minute. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with being there early. You always want to be there early. So our target is at 1,700 feet. So we'll, big little hand on the 1, big hand on the 7. And we want to be there before we arrive. So we got to get there within 7 minutes. So if we're doing, hold on, my math is wrong. I got to come down I got to bring her way down. See, that's why we're always checking. So we're going to bring her down at 1,000 feet a minute. I was 5 minutes out. I needed to double that. Yeah, it just didn't seem right. Typically, in my flight plan, when I file a flight plan, I have all this stuff calculated out on my knee board. Nothing wrong with that. We want to make sure we don't overspeed the plane, though. Which we're doing. So let me back off power here a little bit. See, it's a catch-22 because obviously as we go faster, right? I'm going to go ahead and close this out so I can kind of see. As we go faster, we will get there faster. So we'll back our speed back a little bit. That'll give us a little bit more time to get down to altitude. Yeah, the thing about flying I love about flying airplanes is the process of flying. This thing called pilotage, right? Being a pilot's pretty cool. The things that you do prior to and after and during, the checklists and all of that stuff. I love that stuff. It's funny because I'm a flake. I'll be the first one to tell you. But when I get in an airplane, man, I miss those days. It's very mathematical. It's very sterile in nature. There's just things that you just do, right? That's what I love about it. So we're gonna get us down here. Yep, we dropped a lot of distance. We're gonna bring it back in at 500 feet. per minute here. Give ourselves a little bit of airspeed, because now we're not coming down as fast. And then when we hit 1700, we will hold. Actually, I'm going to hold here because we're still 6 minutes out. Like I said, height is your friend in an airplane. If I was to have engine problems or anything like that, you know, I want as much height as I possibly can get. Go ahead and give us a little bit of speed. Keep our speed up. And this airplane, about 110, is maneuverable. That's what it's telling you. So you got to keep that speed up. Now, granted, we're flying kind of straight and level, so that's okay. But if we were to do a turn, we would lose so much speed so quick, and the plane would be sluggish. So we want to keep this up, you know, up above one. Plus, we get there a little bit quicker. Everything's looking good. That's a good airspeed right there, 120. For this airplane. All right. Now remember, we want to watch our here because we got to be at 1700 when we hit our when we come into COCAD, COCAD, Charlie Oscar Charlie Alpha Delta, COCAD. We got to be at 1700 feet. That's what ATF. That's what air traffic ATC wants us at when we enter into that pattern. Now, normally what we would be doing is we would be talking to the tower now. We would also be listening to get the radio to the... We would be listening for weather, things like that. Just don't want to enter in the airspace. All right. So let's go ahead and drop these few extra feet. We'll turn this on. We'll come down to 1700. Like I said, there's no penalty for being there early. You don't ever want to be there late. You don't want to be high and be late. So we'll get down to 1700, and then we're going to hold our altitude. So we got 2 minutes to spare. Plenty of time. All right. So now what we're going to do is, because we're going to get lined up, so let me go ahead and bring this up, and we're going to go ahead and activate our approach. And basically we are going to now fly this pattern, and we're in a hold. And then now you're going to see the airplane. We got plenty of fuel, so I'll go ahead and do one turn, and you'll see us basically stay in this holding pattern until we get clearance. And so this is, think of it, it's a holding pattern. It's exactly what it is. So the airplane will fly this holding pattern, and this is where we're talking to air traffic control. Maybe there's other airplanes in front of us, or maybe there's, you've got the bigger jets who, have to get somewhere quicker, and we're a little airplane, a little Cessna. And so, they're gonna put us in a hold. So yep, so we're gonna be in this hold, and you're gonna see us fly this hold pattern until we get. So what we'll do is we'll do one evolution of this, and then we'll go ahead and act like. So this is, like I said, this is where we're talking to our. We're talking to the ATC, their traffic control, and they're telling us what to do. I'm just kind of curious. Why do I not have 132.875? Yeah, that is the thing. That is correct. Now, if this is a real flight, what I would typically do is down here is I would put in my my tower. This would be my ATIS, my weather, and maybe you'll hear it here in a little bit. And then this would be the other thing. Let me bring up some volume so you guys can kind of hear what's going on. Yep, so you're going to see us just kind of stay in this holding pattern now. And the plane will just kind of circle around. We got plenty of fuel, so we'll just, like I said, we'll do one iteration of it, and then we'll come out of the holding pattern like we were released to land, and we'll configure our airplane for landing here in a few minutes. But I am a little curious that I'm not picking up radio. That's just weird. Normally you'd have weather by now. Hey. Switch my channels. Yeah, see, I don't have Crystal River anymore. You'd think I'd have... Oh. So now we're in hold, and you can see our GPS has changed to hold direct. So we are in a holding pattern. So we're just going to sit here and fly. See, there's not a whole lot. Believe it or not, flying an airplane requires, well, everybody's sorry. When I learned how to fly, this is no joke. You spend about 20 hours of flight time learning how to fly the airplane. All the other time is you learn what to do when the airplane does, not crashes. You don't want the airplane crash, but you spend the rest of it on how not to crash the airplane. Or what happens. It's all about a lot of your training is what do you do if a particular situation, right? And that's what it is. And then there's a thing what we call and you get type rated. So each airplane has its own procedures, right? And you have to know those procedures and you have to learn those procedures and everything. So you can see us here. We're in our hold pattern, so we're going to fly back out. We'll do another one. And when we come off of this, I'll go ahead and act like we got approved to land, and we'll go ahead and land into Daytona. And everything. I'll just go ahead and turn this off. But I am, like I said, I'm a little curious. I'm not hearing the radio from them. I mean, we're not that far away. Little bizarro. Like I said, so typically what I would do if I was really, yeah, there's 87 there, so it's on 2. 875 on 2. Huh. And then Daytona Tower. That's actually Tower down here. Oh, so see, they already programmed this. See how this is Tower. Now this is my V-Lock, which is basically this airplane does not have automatic glide slope where it actually flies the glide slope. You actually have to fly this. But you have the V-Lock, which allows you to fly using the glide slope. It will not fly. Your bigger airplanes actually, believe it or not, will put pretty much within about 500 feet or even 100 feet. We'll fly the glide slope right in. I can always tell when I fly commercial when the pilot actually takes control because you'll feel it. You'll feel the airplane jerk. It's just not smooth. I can tell you, man. These the computers nowadays are so sophisticated they'll fly themselves. I actually believe we should have pilotless planes before we have cars. All right, so we are officially, so we're making our turn. I just spoke with Tower. Here's our Tower frequencies down here. So this is 127. I'd call Cessna, blah, 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 with you, with 8, and if you have the radio, you would tell them what weather report you have. And like I said, I'm curious on why we don't have that. Obviously, I don't know. It's weird. Daytona Tower, this is Cessna N172SP. And we are, and this is the thing, we are in hold, north of your location, blah, 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 10 miles out, give me your location, your fix, and then they would clear us. They would basically clear. I got to go back. The radios, I remember when I was flying, man, the radios were the hardest things about flying because you're just intimidated to learn the speech. All right, so I want to get out of this holding pattern. This airplane will fly this holding pattern until I tell it otherwise. So we're going to go ahead and get out of it. So let me bring it back up. We're going to bring in proc, and we're going to say activate approach. We already did that. And now we're going to say activate to final. What that's going to do is put the airplane on the final into 27. So now we're no longer in hold, and we are now coming in to final. We're coming now. Remember, we have to be at 1700, which we are at. So we have to be at 1600. Now, why is the radio important? Why I'm a little concerned that we don't have audio, ATIS from them. Weather is the fact that my altimeter, but I'm going to cite it in anyway, so it doesn't matter. But my altimeter, to make sure my altimeter is set right for pressures, to know the wind direction, all of that stuff. But I think we're pretty good. It's calm here. So we got to be at 1600 when we hit Fullig, and Fullig right now we're 3 minutes out. So I'll just go ahead and drop it down our 100 feet now, and we'll be good to go. Have the airport in sight. That is the airport there in front of us. And then at Zorg, we have to be 680 feet. But at that point, we'll just fly the airplane in. I mean, we can fly so 680. So we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we start at about a minute to 2 minutes out, we can be at our 680 if we were flying it by autopilot. That is Daytona there in front of us, I believe. Right there. That's Daytona. Not there. That's not Daytona. That's Daytona. That's where we're going. See the big airport? You don't have the speedway. That sucks. Have to get the scenery pack. They have guys, developers, who do nothing but take like a metropolitan area and create a whole new scenery for them. Alright. So we're a minute 40 out. Go ahead and turn on my wheel so you can see the movements here. The flares. Yeah, we need to be at 680 when we hit Zopri, Zulu, Oscar, Papa, Romeo, Indigo. We need to be at 680, and we'll be at our glide slope. The reason why you fly these is not so you run into things, so you don't run into other things. Right? That's the whole reason. We fly these patterns. So 25, alright, so I'm going to go ahead and... So we need to arrive we're there at our 1600. 7 is counting down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are there. Perfect. And now we need to drop out and we need to be at 680. We have to be there within a minute and 23 seconds. And like I said, normally I would calculate all this stuff out before I would know where we're at. But there is a nice little formula, and I'll share that with you guys later. I gotta dig it up myself. That you do, because you also have to take into consideration your height above the ground. All right, and then when I get there, what I'm gonna do is I'll just take the plane over. And actually, I'll go ahead and take the plane over now because we are not getting there fast enough. Landing lights on, power back. We're way below the glide slope. See my needle, so I want to bring my needle back in. Now, like I said, this is hard to do with a joystick. See my needle, so I want to get those crosses. I want to be center. You'll see it come down, and there it is. It's coming down. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of flap because I'm going to come in a little light. So there we go. And then what we're going to try to do is keep that centered. Perfect. And that, what I'm talking about is the one on the right. See it there? Give myself a little bit of airspeed. Don't want to get too slow. We're a little high. A little low. I don't see pappies here. Pappies they're basically 4 lights. Okay, so we're a little high. There you go. We're going to just basically fly the needle, guys. Oh, we're a little high. A little high. It's alright to be high. You don't want to be low. Now your goal is that you want to always, you don't want to land on where the arrows are, but you want to land right on the edge of the runway. Alright, so now I have the runway, and I'll go ahead and just bring the speed all the way back. I'm good. Load her down. There you go. Welcome to Daytona International Airport. Like I said, it's kind of hard because you got to twist and turn this because my joystick is a 5-axis joystick. We'll just run them out here. They would be yelling at me now to expedite. In other words, get the heck off the runway so the bigger boys can land behind us. This is cool. We'll take it out. Normally, if I had toe brakes and stuff, we could slow the plane. The problem is with this simulator is that it doesn't have toe brakes. I just have brakes on, brakes off. And toe brakes are kind of like a brake in your car where you can do it. But we'll go ahead and... There we go. We have landed at Daytona International Airport. And we'll go ahead and taxi. Looks like General Aviation's over this way. All right. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of hard. I don't having to twist the joystick. Coming in. Da, 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 da. I like to even though this is a simulator, is fly the process out. It's all about process, right? To tell you how. Yeah, see, my joystick is. How do you turn off an airplane? Remember how I told you the lean? Starve it of fuel. Alright. Turn this off so we can see it. So we're going to turn our... Alright, so the pattern is basically is what we did back. Turn our navs off. Right? Turn our strobes off, our navigation here. Come on, turn off. It's easier if I just do this, right? What's going on with this mouse? So strobe, beacon, landing lights off. And then there you go. Oh. Everything's off. We are landed. We have landed. So there you go, guys. You hear the gyro. You know, that's what's really cool about this program is that you guys can't hear it because I got the sound turned way down. But that humming that you hear, that's actually the gyros. And the gyros are part of your instrument. Yeah, it's not noise from the thing. So there you go. We have landed. We are at Daytona International Airport. And that concludes this flight. I want to say thank you. Seats upright, right? Put your seat upright and all that jazz and everything. So that is it. Now, I do want to tell you guys, tomorrow, so what's on tap for tomorrow is we are going to join us here, like us on Facebook, do all that stuff that you guys want to do. But tomorrow we will be here at roughly about 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to install Ubuntu Linux, a Linux version on a server, get it ready for our new website, which is Webcode Live, webcodelive.com. We will create our own WordPress template. We're not going to use one of their templates. We're going to create our own, and we're going to use that as a learning tool. And we're going to teach you guys how to not only install Linux on a web server, how to get it configured, all of that jazz, and then we will start from start to finish on how to build a template that we're going to use for our new website, Webcode Live. And then, of course, join us here on chat. Now, once we have the site up and running, I will, we'll have our own chat thing. Use YouTube and stuff. We'll use our own chat. We'll create our own chat, and you guys can chat with us. We will have phone lines so you can call in and you can communicate with us as well through phone lines. So once again, I just want to say thank you. Man, it was nice today, Jeff. Thank you for joining us, brother, in the chat room and stuff. And yeah, we do have. Trust me, I will get. I do have this right here. This is the water cooler. This is where we start talking about politics. We'll get into that stuff, man, and everything. So I'm mixing best of both worlds with that and everything. So once again, I just want to say thanks, man. It is great to be back on the air talking with you guys. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you did too. And like I said, we're just hang in there. Like everything else, we will get things in order. Sure enough, and stuff as I sit around and look like I'm chasing squirrels and the screen's going crazy and everything. So I'm trying to, guys. I'm looking for my theme music. You guys know how that works, right? You guys know. Those that know me know the song I'm looking for. I think it's only appropriate to end the show with, I don't know if I got him in this one here. Let's see here. Do free show sounds. Let's see what we got here. Incredible but true. Those are old. And I have to go through all of this stuff and look. Intros. Wow. There's some old stuff here, man. Let me look here and type. You guys know what I'm looking for. You guys know exactly what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking. It's my theme song. It's the song. I love this song. It's the one that I always do. It's still looking. Let's let Microsoft scan my computer. They do it anyways. Might as well. What the heck, right? What the heck? They do it anywho. Don't have any say so in it. Wow. Can't believe that it's not here. There, hold on. At the Love Machine. What the heck's the Love Machine? Love MP3. That is crazy. Well, doesn't look like we're going to be able to find. No, I got to do this. I cannot not end my show without any music. Let's go back to, let's see here. Come on. That is crazy. I cannot believe that I cannot find this song. And it's funny because I'll get in YouTube. I'm back on YouTube for the first time and I'll get in trouble for playing this song. But I don't care. I have rights to it. I know the guy. I know the guy who gave me permission. I know the artist. He gave me permission specifically to play his music. Wow, I can't find it, guys. I'll just have to, I'll look for it tomorrow. But let me just do this. Show sound. Again, let's just pick one here. How about this one? Let's do, I love this song. There we go. Take care until tomorrow. Hey, join us here probably about 11 o'clock. You'll get a notice. And we'll start installing Linux, Ubuntu, and we'll go from there. You are listening to Right Code Gaming tonight. It is Gaming After Hours. But tomorrow will be Right Code Live. And, man, it's been fun. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Take care, be well, and sit back, enjoy the music.